we are in a new phase of the long-term debt cycle. It's not 1980 through 2020 anymore. Now, inflation is out of the bag. The time period we're in right now with debt to GDP above 120%, inflation rising instead of inflation falling, things look much more similar to the way they did from 1940 through 1980, which means that when the central bank, in this case the Federal Reserve, lowers interest rates, they're lowering the short end of the curve. That means temporarily more spending and borrowing from the government because they can borrow more T-bills for much cheaper. They can't borrow those long-term bonds for cheaper, but they can certainly do so with T-bills. All of that extra money injected into the economy means prices are going to go up, and lenders understand this. And so no lender is going to lend at a lower rate, understanding that their purchasing power is being eroded by inflation, which is why you get long-term rates actually go up, because those long-term rates, as of right now, are still at least partially controlled by free market influences. People buying and selling those bonds. So if you know inflation is going to go up because you know money is being printed and spent into existence, then you're going to demand a higher interest rate on those bonds that won't get paid back to you for a lot longer, which means this is the only solution left. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet is going to have to go up again. In other words, they're going to have to start quantitative easing. The only way to meaningfully and significantly get interest rates and yields on those long-term bonds low enough to where the government can roll over $9 trillion of debt into long-term bonds at a low interest rate is for the Fed to buy those bonds themselves. There's just not enough money and no willing buyers in the system to take that place because bond yields move as a result of the supply and demand of the bonds themselves. So you need a huge buyer to come in and buy up all those bonds that the government is issuing. You need them to do so in such large size that not only do interest rates not get spiked from that, but they actually stay low where the government wants them.